Now let's begin, inshallah ta'ala, with a little bit of a discussion on the wording of the surah from the beginning. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. This is one of the few surahs of the Quran that begin with a commandment. You know the narration, the Messenger ﷺ is by himself in the cave of Hira. He sees this incredible light, and it's Jibreel ﷺ. He grabs him, and he feels like he's going to be crushed. And he's commanded, اقرأ. And he responds, ما أنا بقارئ. I can't read. I don't know how to read. I am not one to read at all. Then he releases him, grabs him again, and says, اقرأ. And again he responds, I'm not capable of reading. And then the third time, and there are two narrations of this. One of them is, he said, the Messenger, or Jibreel ﷺ recited the first few ayat. In another narration, the Messenger says, فَمَاذَا أَقْرَأ? What should I read? So he finally, he gave in. He caved in and said, what should I read? And then the Messenger Jibreel ﷺ recited these ayat, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. Profound first revelation of Quran. And when this revelation was given, as I told you already, the Messenger was horrified, he was terrified, and he in another narration says, كأنه مكتوبا على قلبي. It was as though it was written on my heart. I felt as though the revelation that was given was written on my heart. So anyway, he rushes back, he asks that a blanket be put over him, he fears for his life, and all of this, the narration goes forward. But now let's look at the language itself. What did Allah choose to say to His Messenger? What were the first words chosen? To be this Quran that we have in our possession, how was it introduced to human beings? This is the introduction of Quran to human beings. Iqra, number one, read. The first commandment in the Quran. The first message given to humanity, read. Read. But reading alone, reading has always been part of every intellectual civilization, right? But who is this messenger? An-Nabi al-Ummi. He doesn't even read. This command was not given to a society full of libraries and universities, a society that has a history of books and authors. Nothing. Even their literature is poetry. And even their poetry is barely written, it's just memorized. There's not even, you go to the library and find Arabic poetry is written in the Islamic era. It wasn't even written much before then, subhanAllah. And in this society, Allah Azza wa Jal gives the commandment of reading. Not only is the messenger himself ummi, the vast majority of people in that society were not read. They were not read. And this is part of the miracle of the Quran. In response to that command, the Muslims became the most educated civilization in history. The mass education, the way it spread in the Muslim Ummah is unlike any other. We developed the modern university system as it exists. The PhD system in the Western world, if you trace its history, it came from the Ijazah system in Islam. So higher academics and reading and research, as we know it today, is actually rooted in Islamic civilization, subhanAllah. These people that didn't even read themselves became the world leaders in reading. And this book that Allah gave, not even in the form of a book. Quran was not revealed as a book. It was revealed in the form of just words, oral tradition. This orally related book became the mother of more books than any other in history. This one Quran is one book, but it gave birth to entire libraries across continents. So many tafsir, every book of fiqh, every book of aqidah, every book of history, in Islamic history, every book of tafsir. How many thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people, generation after generation after generation, have written and read and written and read, all coming from what source book? From Quran, subhanAllah. It's just one little word, and how it changed the world. How it changed the entire world around. And then the messenger Jibreel ﷺ recited these ayat, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق. So he says he created. He didn't specify what, why, created everything. The next ayah goes on to specify, خلق الإنسان. He created everything, and especially He created the human being. من العام إلى الخاص. It's going from general to specific. He created the human being من علق. The Arabic word علق is from a verb aliqa, and also pronounced alaqa. It means to cling and to hang off. To cling and to hang off. By implication, people have interpreted it to mean a clot of blood. But really, for example, عَلِقَ الصَّيْدُ فِي الْجُعَالَةِ, the Arab expression that the animal that you were trying to hunt, it got clung or it got caught inside the net. That's why عَلِقَ is used, right? And it's used in the sense that the alaqa, the sperm of the male, when it goes inside through the uterus and all of that, and finally it impregnates the mother, it's actually hanging off. مُعَلَّقَ, alaq. And this is something that's discussed in modern embryology, and at the time couldn't possibly have been known. Not at all. It's not just a clot of blood, as most translations say. Alaq literally means that which hangs off. And if you look at sonograms and things like that in modern embryology, the earliest stage of the formation of the baby, the confirmation that actually impregnation has happened, is the hanging, mu'allaqa. It's hanging off. Literally alaq. Subhanallah. So there's been a tremendous amount of work done on this particular word alone. There are other places in the Quran that talk about embryology, but this particular word is of key interest because it alludes to Allah Azza wa Jalla's profound knowledge in the most secret of things. We don't even know what's inside of ourselves the way Allah does. And it's an indication of Allah's ayah. He says, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ. We will show them our miraculous signs in the horizons and even inside themselves. This is a miraculous sign inside of ourselves. حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقِّ, until it becomes absolutely clear to them that that in fact is the truth.
Dum dum ba dum dum ba dum dum ba.